Welcome to Live with Elder Kabir, where we are reminded to be faithful in the little. I'm the voice behind the scenes, Deacon David. Today we have an encouraging show for you. Please watch till the end, and we hope you are blessed by this live stream.
Hey, shalom, shalom, saints. Hey, just glad to be back. Once again, I just want to give all praise to the Most High Yah for just everything, just my life, this ministry, Straightway Truth Ministry, our pastor, our shepherd, Pastor Dow, all of the other pastors, the elders, the deacons, the teachers. I'm part of a beautiful assembly with Straightway Truth Ministry, and just glad to be here with you guys. We just got back from the feast of Passover, unleavened bread, and first fruit. So we are back. So we took some time off. So we're back in the saddle, and obviously we'll be gone again, which is coming up around the corner. The Feast of Pentecost.
Yep,
right? The
exactly,
Feast of
yep.
Pentecost. So it was a great feast. We had close to 1,000 people. I believe. I don't know the numbers. It was a lot of people there. A lot of deliverance, a lot of taking part, being able to partake in remembering Yeshua and the blood and the bread and the body, washing the feet of the saints, deliverance. Guys, it's just good. It's just good to just be obedient. It's good. You know, I was thinking to myself before getting ready for the show, I was telling myself, man, I am so thankful that I could genuinely say that I know the Messiah. He says, you know that you know him if you keep his commandments. Yeah. And it's really in keeping the commandments that you truly, truly know the Messiah. Let me just read one thing, and this is way out of pocket. I didn't even talk to Deacon about this. I just right now just feel led to just read this. But in Psalms 119, let me just go here real quick. And it's 99, Psalms 119, 99. Let me start at 97. It says, oh, how I love thy law. It is a meditation all the day. And though through thy commandments has made me wiser. I'm wiser because of the commandments of Yah. I can honestly say that. Even though Christians would say the law is done away with, but I am much wiser because of the commandments. Thy enemies, for they are ever with me. I have more understanding than all my teachers. For thy testimony are my meditation, and I understand more. I understand more than the ancient, than the people who are older, because I keep thy precepts. So, guys, there's something about keeping the commandments of Yah. When you're keeping it, when you're walking it, it's like walking into a room that has a motion sensor light for it. If you don't walk, the lights are not going to come on. You really, truly don't understand the beauty of the Most High Yah unless you keep his commandments and obey him. And so obviously I'm able to keep his commandments because he found it fit or saw it fit to open up my eyes and my ears and my understanding, and to give us a pastor according to his heart to feed us knowledge and understanding. So I'm thankful. So anyway, we got an interesting topic here for you guys. And Pastor Dow, Straightway Truth Ministry, our senior pastor for the Straightway Truth Ministry, wanted us to start talking about this on all of our platform about polygyny. Polygyny. What does the Most High God say about polygyny and why he allowed it? And so we are going to be talking about biblical relationships. We're talking about the relationship between man, woman, and seed, children. And so polygyny is a biblical form of it's a biblical form of a marriage. I don't like to use the word marriage, but it is a biblical relationship, which is it's a covenant relationship.
Covenant relationship, yeah.
Because marriage is a legal term. You guys know me. So So we are going to, Deacon, please, is there anything that you want to add to this stuff while I gather my thoughts?
No, I mean, like you said, we were gone for a little bit. We're back in the saddle, recovering, and it's just beautiful. I guess the only thing that comes to mind is what's wrong with what we're doing. We're trying to obey Yah to the best of our ability, and how do we know we love Him? By keeping His commandments, right? So what are we doing it out of? We're doing it out of love. To go to these feast days, to uphold His commandments and guard His commandments. Um, and we're at the battle here with a different topic now, right? Obviously we're always constantly talking about the law, which this is still part of the law, but now this is a topic that, for whatever reason, Christians just, it's funny, they answer it, they give good answers, but then they go back and destroy or disagree with their own opinion.
If I may add, so let me make sure I give a disclaimer. I don't even know if I'm using the right word, but I want to make sure I put this out there because there are people out there, believe it or not, spying on my liberty. Oh, yeah. Always, chiming in, looking to see what is Elder Kabir doing. So I just want to make sure I put this out there. When I first came into this ministry, I knew nothing about Straightway Truth's ministry stance on polygyny. I didn't even know if they were practicing it. I knew nothing about that. The only thing that attracted me to Straightway Truth's ministry was seeing a Sabbath video by Pastor Dow, him talking about that the Sabbath is for today. And it was very convincing. I was convicted. Obviously, I had a dream the night before. So it just made everything just very powerful. And it convicted me that we needed to keep the Shabbat at that very moment. Once I turned off that video and I was done watching it, I started July 1st, started to keep. That was my July 1st, 2017 was my first time consciously observing the Sabbath day and keeping it holy. That was the first time. And I have not yet stopped keeping the Shabbat. And so that was it for me. And so I wanted to bring my family to come and see a church that's how I saw it. But this assembly, Straightway Truth Ministry, I wanted them to come and see how they kept the Sabbath, period. So when, I did do some survey when I was about to do this show, just asking some questions, and then people came up and said, well, didn't you do this? I said, no, I just came for the Shabbat. I just wanted to know how they kept the Shabbat and wanted to see their lifestyle in regards to the Sabbath. So polygyny came after, after my family left me and things of that nature. And then we were aware that Straightway believe in biblical marriage, which includes polygyny. Pastor Dow, that's when I learned that he had more than one woman. So
what was your elder, if you don't mind me asking you, what was your view on polygyny before the truth?
That's a good question. So my view, and this is a good question because this is some of the stuff that when I was doing some of my survey, just to kind of get content for you guys here. My view on polygyny was I thought it was biblical. I mean, when you look at the Bible, Moses had more than one wife. David, a man after Yah's own heart, had more than one wife. Solomon. I mean, you can go throughout the Bible. Gideon. I mean, you just go throughout the Bible. It was normal. Even Samuel's dad was a polygynist. I mean, so you see this throughout Scripture. So I never had an issue with it. And two, if you guys know, if you have been following my channel for any time, and if you're new on the channel, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, by the way, just going to put that in there. But if you've been following my channel for any time here, you would know that both of my parents were born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria. They're both from the Yoruba tribe, and both of my parents both grew up in polygynous homes. My grandfather was a polygynist. My great-grandfather was a polygynist. Now, my dad, moving to America, he did not practice polygyny. He only had one woman, and that was my mother. And but that's okay too. You have in the Bible, Abraham was a polygynist. Isaac was not. Jacob was. Jacob did practice polygyny. He had 4 women. And I believe even Esau, but he had 4 women, and that's where the tribe of Israel comes from. So My view on polygyny, I thought it was biblical. And now I did kind of sense in the American that it was kind of so I wasn't more apt to talk about my family history as much, just because you had this sense that it was bad. But I just thought it just wasn't, because we're not American, and in America, that was Africa. I don't know. I mean, but I didn't think it was wrong. And I even remember having these discussions with my wife at the time, and she thought that it was, I think she thought it was wrong, or something like that. It was Muslim. She kind of equated to that's the Muslim way, or things of that nature, and that's done away with, and things of that nature. But I always hold the view that polygyny was not bad. I never thought it was bad. So I don't know if I answered your question, Deacon, but
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, exactly. That's obviously, I mean, I know, but
what did you think? What did you think going? I mean, what was your view on polygyny? When was the first time that you came into? I mean, I know I learned about it just because I do family trees at school, and so that's how I knew about it. But when did you hear about polygyny, and what was your reaction?
I mean, just like being exposed to the Bible. That's pretty much it. I never thought of it as being wrong. I mean, I was never taught that it was wrong. Even growing up in my father's house, it was never like, see, it says polygyny, but we don't do that. I mean, there was never that type of conversation. So we just took the Bible for what it said. I mean, took it for what it said. But I mean, obviously, as I got older, past my teenage years, I mean, it's like it's almost like an elephant in the room, right? You just don't talk about it.
Yes. Yes.
It's like, it's not, you don't see people participating in society. So maybe it's one of those things. It's out of sight, out of mind. But I've never had to be in a situation where I've been asked that in Christianity. So obviously being here now, it's obviously a common topic. But in Christianity, I mean, yeah, it wasn't.
And what's so interesting too? It's crazy because when they do talk about polygyny in America, and that's my only known of it, is that it was always talked about it from a negative slant, right? Is usually the Mormons. The Mormons did that, and it was always in some type of somebody being arrested. It was always in some type of negative light. And something, the crazy part, it was always white or Europeans or Caucasian polygynists that you saw on the screen, right? And it was always kind of viewed as a negative thing. But I never ever felt like, oh, that's what we do. I mean, that's what Africans do. Or not, I thought that was different. And I don't know why,
You're right.
I just never connected polygyny with our ancestors, our culture in Yoruba, which is really Hebrew, but I just never connected. It just seems different, and you don't even hear people really saying nothing bad about African, and maybe they do. I don't know. Have you heard African people being saying that their practice of polygyny is a bad thing, and it just seems like it's distance. I don't know. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? It's just
I don't think. Yeah, they don't usually. I guess they don't necessarily like condemn it or support it, but I've never seen when it comes to the context of another culture, it's acceptable. Like it's just more information for them. But here in this society, that's a no-no, right?
It's frowned upon. Yeah,
that's called cheating. You're cheating.
Yeah, cheating. It's So anyway, so guys, we're going to talk about polygyny, and so I did go around asking people, and I was very interested that a lot of Christians don't truly have an answer about polygyny, and those who are just want to just be arrogant would just say it's wrong, and but even with that type of response, none of them was able to biblically show that polygyny was a sin, or that Yah called it a sin, or any. They can't find it. I even gave somebody a challenge, a friend, somebody that I knew. I said, if you can find it, I'll give you 2 weeks. If you can find where it is wrong for a man to have another woman after he has one, I will give you $1,000. If you can find it in the scripture. I went and showed him Deuteronomy 22 and made it clear that it was based off the status of the woman, not the man. It was just a man. We don't know if the man was single, tall, black, white, green. We just know he was a man laying with another man's woman, or another man's betrothed, or another man's daughter, or something like that. But you never saw anything about the man's status. And I said, if you can find something that talks about the man's status of being with a woman, laying with another woman who is not covered as adultery or whatever, I will give you $1,000. And I gave her 2 weeks. because, you know, I said, I'll give you 2 weeks. If you find it, I will be more than happy to write you a check for $1,000. So, and the husband gave me permission to offer that. So I told her, make sure you honor your husband. Make sure you share the proceeds with your husband if you find it. But anyway, so
you never got that.
Well, I just started.
It just started. I see.
Just started. So in 2 weeks, I'll let you know if I'm $1,000 rich or poor. You know? So anyway, guys. So we went on, and in Christianity, there was a thing called gotquestion.org. If you was a Christian or even anybody that's into the Bible, you know, you Google things up, and one of the most things that pop up is an organization called gotquestion.org. Matter of fact, Deacon just put up their website here. You can see that since the inception of gotquestion.org started their ministry answering biblical questions, over 700,000 questions have been answered. So if you send in a question to Got Question, they will give you what they believe is a biblical answer to the biblical question you ask. If you can read what it says right there. What does it say right there?
The top one?
Right there, it says, do you have that one? Yeah.
Do you have questions about God, Jesus, the Bible, or theology? Do you need help understanding a Bible verse or passage? Are there any spiritual issues in your life for which you need advice or counsel?
And you always hear Elder Rufus always says, if you have questions, the Bible have answers. And so here at Straightway Choose Ministry, we really do have answers. And we do not try to add or take away. We're going to stick to the book. Mm-hmm. And so, but a question was posed to gotquestions.org. I try to, and I just want to, it's more of a reaction to how they answered the question. And we're going to respond, rebuttal it, and rebuttal their answer. So, unless Deacon, you have anything else, I think we can just roll that tape.
Yeah,
roll that tape of God question. Why did God allow polygamy / bigamy? Why did God allow bigamy in the Bible?
Right.
So we're going to see how gotquestion.org answered the question. This is coming from a Christian perspective. So roll that tape.
Why did God allow polygamy in the Bible? The question of polygamy is an interesting one in that most people today view polygamy as immoral, while the Bible nowhere explicitly condemns it.
Okay,
let's stop here, guys. Okay. The first thing that comes out, I mean, pretty much this whole thing is already over. I mean, the question has been answered, and this is coming from a Christian perspective. And this is what you see Christians do all the time. They will say something and put their foot in their mouth and contradict themselves right before your very own eyes, right? So he says most people today view polygamy as immoral. Now we're really focused here on polygyny as immoral, while the Bible nowhere explicitly condemns it. And so clearly the world is saying that polygyny is immoral, but the Bible never explicitly condemned it.
Never.
Let's go here to Deuteronomy chapter 4. I want to show you guys something. So we're going to get into the scripture here because I want to make this biblical and concrete. Guys, I'm a simple guy. I don't want to make this thing complicated. Let's just keep this biblical. We can all read. Okay, we can all read the word for ourselves. It's right there. We got this off of YouVersion. We're using this new thing here. So read what it says in verse 2.
Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Most High, your Elohim, which I command you.
So Christians tend to diminish or add. They're either going to diminish the word or add. And clearly we're being instructed by the Most High Yah not to add to the word or not to diminish it, right? that you keep the commandments of Yah. And so this is what we do here at Straightway Truth Ministry. We keep the commandments of Yah. We will not add or diminish from it. We don't care if it hurts your feelings, your opinion. We don't care how it comes off. I mean, it's, you know, you may get on what is the way you say it or how you come up. What we don't like the way you hear it. We don't like the way you're perceiving this stuff, because if you just can read literally what it says off the pages of the Bible, it says what it says. Yeah. And we're not going to change it. We don't care what this America is not the standard of morality. America going around trying to be the moral compass for all of the world. You see them going into these African nations and trying to push their LGBT, call it human rights, human right. What is it called? Human rights.
Human rights.
Something, you know, they're going around trying to push their LGBT, their homosexual, whatever, that agenda, the Skittles, you know, agenda. And it's like,
Alphabet group.
The alphabet group. And so, guys, this is what the book says. Let's go to Deuteronomy 12:32. Now, see, we got Pastor Daniel on there. Shalom, shalom, Pastor, my shepherd.
32.
Yep. If you guys don't know, every Wednesday night, fourth day, we got the Lions Den. So please go check that out. I'm assuming you guys all do. But if you new to this channel, check out Straightway Indiana Goshen with Pastor Daniel Meir and Elder Rob Mathis. All right. Read Deuteronomy 12:32.
It says, "What thing soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it."
So right there again, it says, "What things soever I command you, observe to do, and thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish." So if Yah clearly did not condemn it, why are we adding to it? See, that's adding.
Why are we condemning it? Exactly.
Why are you saying something is immoral that the Bible did not say it was immoral? And the things that the Bible says is immoral, you're saying is okay. But let's go to Revelation 22, verse 18. This is we really got to stick to the book here. And this is the premise of how I'm going to attack and rebuttal against GotQuestion.org. Revelation chapter 22, verse 18.
"For I testify unto every man that heareth the word of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, Yah shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of this book, of this prophecy, Yah shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book."
So there you have, guys. This is serious stuff. I got something I got two witnesses in the Old Testament, one witness in the New Testament. So that's for you Christians that just New Testament only. I cover my bases, but I'm trying to show you guys we are not to be adding or taking away. We don't play that. I'm trying to make it to the kingdom. I'm not trying to go around and tell Yah he got it wrong. Yah, if he wants us to do something, he's going to make it very clear. He's very specific on how you eat, how you dress, how you live, how you love. I mean, he makes it clear. We don't need to add. His law is perfect. It is perfect, and it's beautiful. You don't need to change it. If anything, we need to adapt. We need to abide in him and start keeping the commandments so we can be perfect as he is perfect.
Hallelujah.
So anyway, and then one more. I think I have Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Read that. No, there's one more after that. We got one more after this. Isaiah chapter 5.
"Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter."
So, guys, what I'm saying here, this is what's going on here. They're saying something is bad. He says most people, key word, most people. When do we follow the crowd? The last time I checked, the people of Yah is a remnant. It's not the most people. It's the few, not the many. So when most people are viewing polygamy as immoral, and most of this is coming from Christianity, to be honest with you, Christians have a problem with polygyny because they've gone around trying to evangelize everybody, breaking up homes, going to African nations, breaking up homes, polygynous homes, and saying what you're doing is wrong. This is not wrong, and what they're doing is wicked, and for forbidding this type of marriage. And the same Christians, you go ask them, it's so crazy. I literally do. You go ask these Christians about homosexual marriage, same-sex marriages. They literally start backpedaling like Deion Sanders or something. I'm like, whoa. So something that was explicitly said is wrong, you backpedal. But then when it comes to something that the Bible actually shows you throughout, and you're going to see right here in God Questions, where you see throughout scriptures that men of Yah who had multiple women, multiple children, were considered men of Yah. They were considered good for the people at that time. You can even see one situation with Gideon. Gideon, when he was alive, he had 70 children, not 94, but he had 70 children, many wives, a concubine, and he died. And when he died, they said the people turned back to their wicked ways. They did not follow Yah like they did during the days of Gideon. So obviously, how is Gideon, a man with multiple women, when he was alive, they were following Yah, they were obedient. And this is a man that had 70 sons. 70 sons, it actually says. 70 sons. We don't even know how many daughters he had, but just 70 sons. And I promise you, that did not come from one woman. So
that would be impossible.
That would be impossible. So one more, and this is the part where people like GotQuestions.org and all these Christians that is forbidding this stuff. This is literally showing us that we are in the last days, saints. We are literally in the last days. When you see people attacking polygyny, and which is probably the most superior form of a family. I think it's a better form of a family than just having one wife only. And I'm not saying one wife is wrong. I'm just saying that you can do way more as a husband. I think as a husband, I can do way more with multiple women than just doing it with one woman. I mean, it's just like having a company. Like if I had a company, I just want one employee. The deacon, you're the only one. No, don't delegate that, deacon. I need you to be my helper. I need you to do everything. Nope, don't delegate. You go to the store. No, I need you to get the paper here. I need you to, or would you not like, deacon, to have some help where you can delegate some of the work that I give you?
Oh yeah, even today.
Yeah, see, even today. So it's crazy. I've done it for 16 years. I did it for 16 years. And even in my marriage of 16 years, and I was operating at a high level, guess what we had to do? Because I didn't consider polygyny at the time. Guess what I had to do? I had to hire babysitters. I think I paid over $12,000 a year for babysitting costs, just for babysitting, date nights, whenever I had to go to football games, whatever, all this stuff. I had to pay for everything. We paid for private school. That was another $20,000, $30,000 a year just for private school. So at the end of the day, you're going to get the help. You're just going to end up outsourcing it. But in a polygynous home, I don't have to do that. I can homeschool. I can. If I want to take one woman on a date, I don't even know what that's all about. Date is going to Walmart for me. But if I go run on an errand, I want to take one. The other one can watch the children. We don't need to do outsource and start bringing. And I remember one time we got a babysitter, and I took my wife at the time on a date, and then this babysitter brought her boyfriend over without our permission.
Wow.
That date got cut short. We went on. I said, no, bro, now, I don't know who this dude is. This dude can be molesting my children or whatever. So polygyny is a superior form of a family. You can do way more than you can do it in a monogamous relationship. But there's nothing wrong with a monogamous relationship. I'm not against it. I'm for all forms of biblical marriage. What I'm not for is sin, the things that Yah says is sin. All right. So let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1-3.
Yes, Elder. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1-3. It says,
All right.
Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times.
Hey guys, this is the latter times. Okay, guys. So we are here. The people who read this, when they wrote this, they were in the latter times. We are literally in the latter times. When Paul wrote this to Timothy, we are now experiencing the latter times. And look what he said.
Some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy.
That's Christianity, hypocrites. Christianity are hypocrites. Their whole doctrine is hypocritical. They say they follow the Bible, but they're really following a European Western culture. They're not following the Bible. They're two different things. So they're hypocrites. They say one thing and do another.
Having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry.
See, forbidding to marry. Look at this. They're forbidding marrying, but they'll support. I know if you get, let me ask you, Deacon, have you ever heard one man, one woman being forbidden to be married in this country?
No.
Have you ever heard anybody want to be single being forbidden in this country?
No.
Have you ever heard homosexuality in this time right now being forbidden for marrying?
Not now, no.
Not now, right? It's acceptable, right?
Yep.
Okay, but so polygyny is homosexuals is acceptable, monogamy is acceptable, singleness is acceptable. Okay, last one. Have you heard about polygyny being forbidden?
Yes.
So right there, it's being forbidden. Now let's keep reading here. Forbidden to marry, read.
And commanding to abstain from meats, which Yah hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
You see? So you got people who are practicing polygyny and it's supposed to be received with thanksgiving. But in this country, they frown upon people who are practicing polygyny. Let me go into church with a bunch of women and say, these are my women, and see how they treat me. They're going to shame me. I mean, and I'm saying, well, should I not be thankful? This did not Yah give me this? Shouldn't we be thanking him and praising him for this stuff? I mean, this is to be received with thanksgiving, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
But they're forbidding what Yah says, and it says it right here. It doesn't explicitly condemn it, so they're going to condemn it and say it's immoral. So it's right there, guys. We are in the latter times. All right.
Definitely.
Okay, I'm done with that. You can do we do Matthew 7? Let me do one more here. Just to hit the, and guys, we haven't even gotten into the video, man. We're only seconds into the video, and I will let it run a little bit, but I just wanted to just show you guys how crazy it says. Most people today view polygamy as immoral, while the Bible nowhere explicitly condemns it. In Matthew chapter 7, verse 13, it reads,
Enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in the rut. Oh, we're messing up there.
Where's that?
The reet therein. I think that's what it meant to say. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
That finds it. So, guys, going to the narrow gate. So we don't care what most people think today about biblical marriage. It doesn't matter what they think. It matters about what Yah thinks. That's all that matters. Exactly. All right. Roll the tape. Go back a little bit.
First instance.
Okay, you can play that. I don't know.
The question of polygamy is an interesting one in that most people today view polygamy as immoral, while the Bible nowhere explicitly condemns it. The first instance of polygamy or bigamy in the Bible was that of Lamech in Genesis 4:19. Lamech married 2 women. Several prominent men in the Old Testament were polygamists. Abraham, Jacob, David, Solomon, and others had multiple wives. Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines, essentially wives of a lower status, according to 1 Kings 11:3.
So you got right here, they're talking about Solomon, right? That he had over 700 wives and 300 concubines, right? Yeah. According to, what does it say here?
Did they say the scripture?
Okay, no, yeah, they just say, but listen to this stuff. You get people that come up with different topics, right? But all these men were mentioned. Now, Solomon, he got turned away because he just had some wicked women that turned his heart away from the Most High Yah. And but you're going to hear people bring up Solomon and say, well, look, at Solomon had this and he turned away from Yah. Well, guess what? Adam did too. Adam only had one woman and he turned his way when he ate the fruit.
Yeah.
So it's not about multiple wives. And even when you look at Solomon, if you see this department, go to First King. Well, is that just talks about how many wives he has?
Yeah, they're gonna set up the question.
They're gonna talk about, okay, let's just keep running. Okay.
Yep.
We gotta stop sometime, guys, for copyright purposes too.
What are we to do with these instances of polygamy in the Old Testament? There are 3 questions that need to be answered. 1, why did God allow polygamy in the Old Testament? 2, how does God view polygamy today? And 3, why did it change?
Okay, right here, guys. I would love to answer. I can answer these 3 questions real quick and we call it done. But this is why it's called live stream. So we're gonna let them answer the question. And listen, guys, I want you guys to really be discerning, but listen to how these fork-tongued devils speak.
Exactly.
I mean, these people are sly in the way they put the thing in there, and they're adding eisegesis instead of exegesis, and they're adding and diminishing and trying to paint a picture for you guys to see this thing as a bad thing, which is not explicitly to their own admission. It has not been explicitly condemned, but they're going to condemn it in their very words. Read. Play, sorry.
Why did God allow polygamy in the Old Testament? The Bible does not specifically say why God allowed polygamy. As we speculate about God's silence, there is at least one key factor to consider.
So look what they said. They clearly are telling you that God did not specifically give a reason for why. So guess what? They use that, which is not true, but they use this, which is kind of true, but they use that. And now this is where they say, hey, this gives us the opportunity to add or input something in there. And because he didn't give us a good reason. So now this is where now Christianity is going to start putting their own doctrine and start building a case for their doctrine and not biblical doctrine. Play it.
Due to patriarchal societies, it was nearly impossible for an unmarried woman to provide for herself. Women were often uneducated and untrained. Women relied on their fathers, brothers, and husbands for provision and protection. Unmarried women were often subjected to prostitution and slavery. So it seems that God may have allowed polygamy to protect and provide for the women who could not find a husband otherwise.
Okay, stop.
So they answered the question.
So clearly they can see that polygyny is good. Polygyny was a way to provide for who? For men to get their sex on, to get their freak on? No, this had to do with Yah providing for the women. This had to do with the women. Protection, right? Food, all the stuff that women would need at this time. So they're saying that, okay, in their mind, they said, okay, we can see that Yah allowed this to happen just so that the women can be cared for. Because if you didn't have this, then there's the alternative could be a bad thing. Do you want to add to that, Deacon?
I mean, I just find it surprising. I mean, he's literally at first he
answered
said
the question.
He said there is nothing. We don't know why God allowed it, but then it's saying right here they're answering that. Well, he may allow it because of protection and provision. Okay,
but look how they guys, it's sly. I'm about to let you guys see how they twist it. Replay.
A man would take multiple wives and serve as their provider and protector of all of them. While definitely not ideal, living in a polygamous...
Stop. You see what he says? Look how he sneaks that in. We're going to go back on when he says, definitely not ideal. Who the hell are you, gotquestions.org? Who are you to say is not ideal? If that's not ideal, what is ideal? Who determines what's ideal? So right there, he plants a seed. This is definitely not ideal. Then if this is not ideal, then why did it? Obviously, this woman got taken care of. I mean, isn't that? You see how he sneaks that in there?
Yeah,
definitely not ideal.
Back it up a little bit.
Yeah, back it up. While definitely not ideal. Oh my goodness.
Wives and serve as their provider and protector of all of them. While definitely not ideal, living in a polygamous household was far better than the alternatives: prostitution, slavery, or starvation.
So he's saying it's not definitely the ideal, but it was better than the alternative, because if you didn't have polygyny, then you end up probably women will have to provide themselves through prostitution, slavery, or just starve to death.
which we still have all those
Which I
things
still
today.
have. So what does it change? Are you is Yah only the God of America? I don't think I heard that. I think he was the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Exactly.
Right? But are we using America as the thing where, okay, well, I'm not going to give away. I'm just saying this is the part where polygyny is doing a good thing for the women. See, as Straightway, we have a saying. It says that our women are taken care from cradle to grave. And you can't take care of your women from cradle to grave in every way. I'm not just saying physically. I'm not just saying sexually, but also spiritually. Every woman needs a covering. You guys hear what I'm saying? If you are a woman, you need a man to cover you.
Yep.
If you do not have that cover, if you don't have a man instructing you, it's a very good chance you are hell bound.
Mm-hmm.
I say it again. It'll be no different than a horse in a race running without his jockey. You need a man to be guiding you, instructing you, demanding you, commanding you. If you don't have a man covering you, you are hell bound. That should put fear in every woman out there that's walking around here saying, well, I'm single and I don't have anybody telling me what to do. You're hell bound. If you are the head in your home and you dictating what's going on in your home is not your man, you're hell bound. Oprah Winfrey making billions of dollars, and Stephen is her just side man or whatever. Guess what? Good chance, hell bound.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, well, how can you say that? It'll be like me saying that I don't need Jesus. If I don't need Yeshua, I can do this on my own. I'm going to go directly to the Father. No, I'm hell bound. I need a covering because I'm a man and my cover is Yeshua. The head of every man is Jesus, and the head of every woman is man, and the head of Jesus is the Father. Is that not what it says in 1 Corinthians 11?
That's it.
But God is the head of everything. So I'm telling you this right now. And you're looking at the situation where polygyny is a good thing, but he's saying it's not ideal. Well, if this was an ideal, then why didn't God use the ideal? Why didn't Yah use the ideal version to solve the problem of prostitution, slavery, and starvation? What is the ideal, Deacon?
I choose the Bible.
He's saying definitely not the ideal, but so Yah used the least ideal situation to solve a real problem like prostitution, slavery, and starvation.
I wonder what this man would say in the face of Moses, of Abraham, of Jacob, of King David. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is crazy. So
hey, King David, you're doing a great job, but your family's just not ideal. It's just not God's best.
So is monogamous? Was monogamous a better solution to solve this problem? But then here's the problem: you have more women than you have to men. So the ideal situation, monogamy, couldn't solve this problem because there wasn't enough men. There wasn't enough men.
So their ideal is prostitution.
Exactly.
Starvation.
Oh, you're gonna see that. You're gonna see that. Okay, keep playing. I'm sorry, guys. I get excited.
In addition to the protection provision factor, polygamy enabled a much faster expansion of humanity, fulfilling God's command to be fruitful and increase in number, multiply on the earth.
So, come on. Hold up. So, once again, polygyny is not God's ideal. It's not. It's definitely. He said it's definitely like what makes it so definite. What makes it so definite? He said it's definitely not ideal, but it does fulfill being fruitful and multiplying.
You can't make this.
Okay, look. Okay, if you, Deacon, listen. You had two options. Okay, I get to pick one. You get to pick one. I'm gonna let you pick first. Okay.
Okay.
And whoever gets to the number faster is going to be the winner. Okay. So you can either have multiple women or one woman, but you can't have one or the other. And whatever you don't pick, I'll pick. Okay. If you had to have 50, you can have whatever to accomplish this. If you need to have 50 children in the course of 5 years,
oh my goodness,
which one would you pick? I'm hoping you're going to pick the ideal, something that's ideal. But what would you pick to get to that number quick.
So in order to fulfill
50 children in 10 years.
if that's what's required, in order for me to fulfill, then I'm going
You
to
can pick
polygyny.
monogamous or polygyny. Which one do you want?
I'm doing polygyny.
You picking polygyny. So then, okay, I'll pick monogamy. But guess what? Now I look how I said that. I know I'm gonna lose. There's no way I'm gonna win. But supposedly, according to gotquestion.org, that I had the ideal option. You took the most definitely not the ideal situation, but you are able to fulfill Yah's commandment to be fruitful and multiply better than I can. Are you hearing this?
I'm hearing it.
Okay, let me give you an example. I can give you the perspective here. I had a wife for 16 years. One wife. And we were knocking them out. I was knocking them out, right? We had a baby every 2 years. I had 8 children in the course of 16 years. 16 years.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, right? But that was just one. I said, can you get 50? Are you able to get 50 children in 10 years with multiple women? How many women would you need?
I mean,
let's say you take 50, you divide that by, let's divide it by 5. Like you can have, if you was having,
that's 10.
Let's divide it by 4. Okay, no, that's not enough. Let's divide that.
That's not enough.
No, I'm trying to stay within the 10-year mark. So let's divide that by, I mean, that's how would you do that number? 50 children. And then you would need, so if you had 10 wives, how many children would you have? If you had 10 wives, right?
Yeah. I mean, just
10. Yeah. You can
do 8 times you said 10 wives?
Huh?
You said 10 wives?
So if you had 10 wives and they popped out 5, you get your 50 right there, right? Within
easy. With
5 wives, I mean, with 5 children, you can pop that. That probably like that's 10 years right there.
10 years. Shoot.
Yeah.
You can have more.
Huh?
You can do way more.
Yeah, and with my one wife, I know what I can do in 16 years. I had 8. I had 8 in 16 years. So anyway, I just want to show you that when he says definitely not ideal, I'm just saying like where did he quantify that this is definitely not the ideal? That's all I'm saying. Like, where does that come from? Like, does he have something biblical that says this is definitely not the ideal? So anyway, let me come off of that, but that bothers me. But anyway, let the video keep rolling.
Men are capable of impregnating multiple women in the same time period, causing humanity to grow much faster than if each man was only producing one child each year. How does God view polygamy today?
All right. So now the next question is, how does Yah view polygamy? It says polygamy, but it can't be, because when you say polygamy, guys, you guys have to understand polygamy could mean a woman with multiple husbands. It could be all types of stuff. So in the form of polygamy, we believe in polygyny, a man having multiple women. Yep. We do not believe in polyandry. Okay.
No.
So, and polyandry is part of the polygamy family. So anyway, how does God view polygyny today? Let's see how he answers.
Even while allowing polygamy, the Bible presents monogamy as the plan which conforms most closely to God's ideal for marriage.
You see,
the Bible says that God's...
That's a lie. Go back and play that again. How does God view polygyny today?
God view polygamy today. Even while allowing polygamy, the Bible presents monogamy as the plan which conforms most closely to God's ideal for marriage. The Bible says that God's original intention was for one man to be married to only one woman. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, not wives, and they will become one flesh, not fleshes.
So I want to address this one. Everybody always wants to go to this Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. Guys, let's just look at it. He has it right there. He says, for this reason, a man, right, will leave his what? His father and mother, right? And be united to his what? His woman, his wife. And they will become one flesh. What is that? All that's saying, guys, is that you're going to have a seed, and it's a male child. He's going to grow up, and he's going to leave mother and father, and he's going to be joined to his one woman, and they'll become one flesh. He's going to join her. That makes sense. Well, what happens in my situation? Okay, when I got married to my first wife, right? I literally left my father and mother house to be united to my one wife, right? And we had 8 children, and then eventually she went rogue and left me. She left after 16 years of marriage. So now, at this time, 16 years later, my mom has passed away. My late mom is no longer. I just got my father. I'm taking care of my father. So what do I do in this situation? Or let's say my wife died, and now I want to remarry. Is this still the same? For this reason, a man would leave his father and mother and be united to his wife? No, in this case, I already left my father and mother to claim. Now I'm going to remarry due to divorce or due to widow or whatever the case. Maybe she died or whatever the case. Or if I just want to add to my family, it's just talking about the progression of things that, okay, man and woman come here, you're going to have a seed. And from here, you're going to produce. And then when you produce that seed will eventually leave and be joined to another woman and do the whole thing over again. Does that make sense, D? Am I reaching? Because I don't want to be adding or diminishing. I'm just trying to keep it common sense.
Sounds like you're doing exegesis and not eisegesis. So
that's all it's saying. It's not adding ideal one way. Just saying like. And then guys, now this is my opinion. I want to make sure I'm saying this is my opinion. This is how I be thinking sometimes. I be thinking to myself, I have a son, and one day I'm going to encourage my son to practice polygyny. I want him to practice polygyny. I want him to be fruitful, multiply. But I'm not going to encourage my son to take 2 women the first time around. When he leaves here, I'm going to say, son, start with 1. Mess with her for 2 or 3 years or whatever. Get that down. Then you add little by little, because dealing with 1, if you can handle 1, then you will have the skills that you need to take on 2 or 3 or 4. After the second one, and I'll give you an example. And let me give people say, wow, what is he talking about? Let me give you, now, anybody that's had more than 1 children, right? I remember when I had my first son, right? That was a whole new dynamic right there. I had my first son. I'm a new father. I'm 24 at the time. And we're a new family, and I'm learning how to be a father, right? I'm making most of my mistakes was made the first year with my son, learning the do's, the don'ts, whatever, learning how to discipline, feeling comfortable, training, all that stuff came in. So then when the 1 came in, I was able to double team a little bit, right? If my wife got tired, she can give it to me, and then I can play with them a little bit and give it to her. And, we were able to I used to call it zone. When you have your first child, you call it zone, right? In football, it means when you're doing the coverage, zone coverage. So then we had a second one. Whoa. Now we knew about children because we had 1, but now 2 comes in, and that's a little bit different now. Now we went from a zone coverage to now man to man. She had 1, I had 1, and now we kind of had, because they're close in age. So now we're doing man to man, and we couldn't do the zone. Now, sometimes she had to do zone because sometimes she had to do all 2, and I went on. And so then after you get the third one, to be honest with you, the third one is kind of like add a little bit of water to the pot. So the big change is going from 1 to 2. But after you get 3, 4, 5, you're just adding. It's just numbers now. It's not even a big deal. Now you know how to, corral your children and get them. And it actually works in your favor because they get older, and the older one can take care of the younger one. And you can actually have them start babysitting. And then if you're teaching the younger ones, how to do a behavior, you can use your older one to teach a younger one. It gets really easy. I mean, Deacon, you went from 1 to 2. I mean, you kind of in that stage. What is that? Is there some truth to what I'm saying, or am I off kilter?
Oh no, yeah, definitely. I mean, we can, Emma's at the age where we can have her watch her sister, which is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting busy, so yeah.
What was the difference between having 1 daughter versus having now 2? Was there a big difference, or from just dealing with 1 and then when you had the 2?
No, not a huge difference in the fact that.
What's the age gap?
They're like 2.5 years apart.
Okay, that's about the same. Okay.
Yeah, but Yeah, I mean, I would say now since MRI is 6, she's at the point where she's more helpful. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like you taught me, really invest on the first one because the first one they lead by example, right? So the younger one's going to copy the older one, and we see that all the time. So it makes it easier because I have that first child to have as a image, I guess, as a where the little one can look up to.
Yeah. And
Example.
and I would say even like Jesus even says, on this rock I'm gonna build my assembly or build my church, right? And so with your first child or your first woman, you want to really pour into that first one, the wife of your youth. You want to pour into her. And that's what that's describing here is the wife of your youth, because you're gonna build your whole family on this woman, right? She's going to be the one to teach you younger women. You see Titus now coming. Older women teach you younger women how to what? Love their husband, love their children, how to, be a chase keeper and things of that nature. And so um there's so much, there's so many reasons why you want to start off with one before you just start off with two right off. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong to start off with two. I just think it's tough because you're dealing with two different personality, and it'll be good just to understand understand the nature of women before you just jump in and get two or three.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
anyway, even Pete Rambo, we got Pete Rambo in here, and I'll say check out his channel. He got some good stuff. He's doing some of the same things that we're doing here. But he talks about polygyny, but he says learn to ride a bicycle before you get a unicycle. That's so true. Like, let's learn the basics before we go on and start adding more,
That's it.
So it's wise to start off, but it doesn't mean it says stop there. So when he said this is Yah's ideal's best, that's a lie.
Yep.
All
Exactly.
right. And then even in this ideal family of Adam and Eve, guess what? That's where sin came into the world, based off of one woman. Can you imagine if Adam had two? Shoot, there probably would be no one on earth anymore. So y'all try to limit that. Read and play.
While Genesis 2:24 is describing what marriage is rather than how many people are involved, the consistent use of the singular should be noted. In Deuteronomy 17:14-20, God says that the kings were not supposed to multiply wives. While this cannot be interpreted as a command that the kings must be monogamous, it can be understood as declaring that having multiple wives causes problems. This can be clearly seen in the life of Solomon.
Okay. Okay, now let's go to first. I want to go here. Let's go to first. See, I want to show you how you're taking this out of context, because why stop there? Like, so you're saying that he's using this as a way to saying that you shouldn't have many wives, and it wasn't the many wives that was the problem. Can you go to 1 Kings chapter 11 verse 3?
1 Kings 11:3.
Yep, verse 4.
And he had 700 wives.
Oh, okay, this is just talking about how many wives he had. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
That's not talking about
Well, it says it in verse 4.
Okay, read. Go. Oh, yeah, this is it. Okay, yeah, this is it. Go.
And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines.
That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, you got it, man. Much is given, much is required. See that? So the more you have, more is required. Read.
And his wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods.
See, that's the key, guys. You see, it had to do with multiplying so many wives, because these women are going to end up from here because they turned his heart away from Yah. They turned his heart.
And his heart was not perfect with Yah, his Elohim, as was the heart of David, his father.
Ooh, so he brought in David. David is also a polygynist too. So he's saying that David, who was a polygynist, his heart was perfect towards Yah, but Solomon wasn't, because the women he got turned his heart away from Yah. So it wasn't about having multiple women, because if it was, why would they use David as an example? See, David is the ideal in this story, in this case. Read it again. Read it. Says, for it came to pass, Solomon was what? Old. What do you say?
That his wives turned away his heart after other gods. And his heart was not perfect with Yahweh, his Elohim, as was the heart of his father David.
And mind you, David had 18 women. Okay, and that's women and concubines. He had a bunch of women too. So it had nothing to do with, it said don't multiply wives that they'll turn your heart away. And I don't know where the law is about that, but it talks about not only just multiple women, multiplying gold and silver and things, horses and things of that nature, warning the kings not to do that. And part about not multiplying women because of them multiplying their heart. Matter of fact, I'm about to go find this one. I'm sorry, I got to find this one because I thought I saw it last night. What is it, 1 Kings?
Which one are you talking about, Elder?
The one that you just read right now.
Oh yeah, 1 Kings chapter.
Let me see if I can.
11.
Let me see if I can. Sorry, guys. Let me find this here. This is telling me about.
You talking about Deuteronomy?
Yeah, Deuteronomy. What does it say in Deuteronomy?
17?
Go there.
Deuteronomy 17, I believe.
Oh yeah, this is it right here. Yes, I was talking about this last night with the Christian woman. Yeah. So reading says Deuteronomy 17, and she brought this up to me. Read.
Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold.
Now listen, guys, it says, neither shall he multiply wives to himself. Why? That his heart turn not away. So it didn't say, do not multiply wives for yourself because you don't want to make your first wife jealous or make her feel bad or so you can spend more time. It had nothing to do with time or lust or this stuff. It had to do so that these women do not turn your heart away. Money can do that too. Money can do that. People will be so focused on making so much money and things of that nature, it turns your heart away from Yah.
You see how they cherry pick? Because in the same verse,
right there,
talking about money, but they never say, well, too much, that's too much money.
Yeah.
No, how come they don't talk about that?
So get it in context. You guys are seeing it right here. Deuteronomy 17, it says it right there. It didn't just stop with the wives, and it even explained what it means, don't multiply wives for himself. That his heart turned not away. And what happened to Solomon? Solomon multiplied wives to himself to the point where it turned his heart away. His heart was not like his father David, who had multiple wives.
Come on, Elder.
And his heart was perfect to her. He was a man after Yah's own heart. So it's right there, guys. Just simple. This, guys, I'm just showing you. Just open your book and just read and use your own brain. These Christians are leading people straight to the pit of hell. Got questions leading people straight to the pit of hell. That's what's up there. And I used to be a Christian, guys. I was a very strong Christian, very committed, and most of my learning came from the book, and that's how come I was able to see through Christianity and eventually left Christianity because I saw Christianity is not biblical. Christianity is Christianity, but it is not biblical. Don't confuse the two. Don't confuse Christianity synonymous with the Bible. They do not follow the Bible. And I'm showing you right here, play by play. It's like we're watching film, play by play. You can see how they contradict themselves. You can see how hypocritical. This is a famous gotquestion.org that everybody goes to. Over 700,000 questions has been answered by this ministry.
Yeah, the Bible is pretty much a mascot for Christianity. It's not something that they live by.
Okay, keep reading. So I just want to show you guys that was off the cuff right there.
Go ahead and with the video, Elder.
Yeah, with the video. Yep.
In the New Testament, 1 Timothy 3, 2, and 12, and Titus 1:6 give the husband of one wife and a list of qualifications for spiritual leadership. There is some debate as to what specifically this qualification means. The phrase could literally be translated a one-woman man. Whether or not this phrase is referring exclusively to polygamy, in no sense can a polygamist be considered a one-woman man. While these qualifications are specifically for positions of spiritual leadership, they should apply equally to all Christians.
So, guys, I'm an elder, right? I'm an elder. And not that I even wanted to be an elder, but I am an elder, and I'm thankful for it. I'm humbled by the responsibility that's been, that I've been anointed for such a time as this, for this role. But as an elder, all the elders, if you notice that they have chosen, were men who at least had one woman. You have to have one woman. You're not going to have a single guy up there who's going to be an overseer over people who don't even have a home of their own, so that you can be able to see, okay, let's look at how this woman being subjected to him. Is his children obedient? In my case, you can see that. And then on top of that, I had a community. I was a brother, just managing the community, just like I did when I had my first family, right? Now, my wife went rogue and left because I stood on the word. It wasn't because I did anything wrong. I stood on the word and she left. And I showed myself that I was not going to acquiesce or capitulate to a wicked ass woman. Jesus, Yeshua, comes first. And if it means forsaking wife, sons, daughters, my life, my mother, my father, my brother, my sisters, then so be it. And so when people see that this man is serious, how many people will forsake the things their family to follow Yah? So somebody like pastor or the leadership can see, like, okay, this man is serious. This is his fruit. This man stood on the word. And then I get me a new woman and I pour into her, and we now have sons together, and I'm still continue to pour into her. I'm gonna be pouring to the day I die. That's my job. And they're looking. Is she obedient? Is she just wild? Is she gotten better? Is she worse? Okay, seems like he has his house in order. Seems peaceful when you come over to his house. But now let's look at the qualification, guys. Let me ask you this. Let me ask a simple question here. Now, before I ask the question, let's just go to the word. Where is that? Is it Timothy? What they quoted there?
I can back it up here.
1 Timothy 3, the qualification.
Titus and Timothy, yeah.
Okay, let's go to 1 Timothy 3. Here's the qualification. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. Now, guys, this has to do with qualification. Let me say the question, and we're going to read it. This is the part where I feel like it's so deceptive. If I told you, Deacon, I'm looking for an assistant. I am looking, guys, I'm just using this as an example. I am looking for a secretary, and I need a person who has at least a minimum of 1 year of college. No, 2 year of college. I'm looking for somebody that has 2 year college experience. I'm looking for somebody that has 2 year college experience. So if somebody called the office and said that, hey, I've been in college for 4 years, I have a bachelor's degree, are they disqualified for the job that we're looking for? No,
they fit the bill.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's say somebody said, hey, I went 3 years of college, but I never finished it. Do they qualify for the job that I'm looking for? If I'm looking for an assistant or a secretary for what we're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, you said 2 years experience.
Yeah, but this person said 3 years, but they didn't finish their fourth year. They didn't get they dropped out. Something happened. Family, I don't know, family emergency. They just didn't finish, but they got 2 years in, but they got 3 years. Are they good?
They're good.
They're good. Okay, so let's say somebody comes in and say, I know this is so redundant, but guys, this is what I feel like you got to do with Christianity. But if somebody came and said, hey, I only have 1 year of college, is it okay if I can get the job? What would we say?
Well, no, the requirements too, minimum.
You didn't meet the minimum. You don't qualify. You can't get the job. We're looking for somebody with 2 year experience in college, and you only have 1 year. Well, this is saying the same thing. It's saying you need to have one wife. So an overseer should not be somebody who does not have a woman. I don't know where the Catholic Church got where they used to become overseers and stuff like that, and pedophiles. Maybe they count the little boys that they molesting. I don't know, but they don't have any overseers. And look at the Catholic Church, and no one gets on them. But let's read. Let's read what the book says. Let's go to 1 Timothy 3. So I hope this brings some concrete context to what the one woman is all about. Read.
This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife.
So it doesn't stop there. Oh, one wife, no polygynist. No, it's not saying that. It's just saying you have to at least be one person. And we're going to get to the reason. When you get to the qualification, they're going to give the reason behind all these qualifications. This is what we're looking for in an overseer, in a bishop. So one wife, read.
Vigilant.
So you can't say, oh, I got my one wife, but you're not vigilant. Guess what? You're not qualified. Yeah, you got your one wife, but you're not vigilant. What does that have to do with polygyny? Come on. You got to be vigilant. What else?
Sober.
Are you walking around drunk all the time? Imagine I was hey, you know me, Deacon. Do I walk around drinking all day? Am I in a stupor and not sober and just all over the place?
No, Elder, not at all.
You got to be sober. Read.
Of good behavior. Given to hospitality.
Are we not big on hospitality?
Oh, yeah.
But guess what? So if you got all of this stuff, but you're not hospitable, you're rude, you're not really taking care of the saints, guess what? You're not qualified to be an overseer. Why are we stopping at the one wife?
Come on, Elder.
Which is a mistranslation. How about, well, if you're not hospitable, then you shouldn't be in the church too. This is what it's talking about. You need to be hospitable. You got a lot of people that don't even know how to teach. So what does that do? That disqualify them too from being a believer? Not everybody's going to be able to know how to teach. Not everybody's going to be able to have some of these qualifications. That's why it's a unique person who can be an overseer. And these are the stuff you look for. Read.
Apt to teach. Not given to wine. No striker. Not greedy of filthy lucre. But patient. Not a brawler. Not covetous. One that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity.
If your children are running around crazy and there's no discipline and they just like, okay, this dude don't even have control over his own home. So it's not just one wife. Boom. So you're looking at a man that says, okay, he has one wife, he's vigilant, he's hospitable, he's this, he's that. Okay, boom, this guy, hey, this may be a good guy here. So if a guy has a second woman and he's doing the same thing, what? I'm like, man, this guy, this man has mastered what it means to manage people, to have a good behavior, to be sober, to be hospitable. I mean, this man is doing it at a high level. And he can even help people who are in marriages who only have their one wife, but if they have polygyny, he can even get counsel to that person because he understands the dynamics and the nuance of having two versus just one. Pastor Dow and Elder Rufus and the people that are practicing polygyny, they're a very good source that you can go to and ask them the nuance of stuff that you just don't see in a monogamous relationship. There's stuff that's in the monogamous relationship that you don't experience in a there's stuff in polygyny that you don't experience in a monogamous relationship. And it would be good to be able to go to an overseer who has their own house in order, who's able to teach and be able to give you the nuance on how to do it. I may be trying to like get my 2 women or 3 women to do things, and they'll say, hey, that's not wise. Don't do that. Or don't, this is the way you should go. Or this, why? Because he has experience. And you see the fruit of his home because you see his house is in order. Are you guys hearing me? If you guys like this, please hit the like button. Hit the 7 button, please. If you guys are liking what you hear right now. So keep reading the word. Sorry about that.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of Yah?
And that's where it comes down to, guys. It comes down to if this man do not know how to rule his own house, it doesn't matter if he has 1, 2, 3, 4 women. It's all about, does this man knows how to rule? That's what's in question here. And you're using all of these markers to determine if this man knows how to rule. It has nothing to do if he has less wife or more wife or what. It just said, can this man rule? It's hard to judge a man if he knows how to rule and he has no woman. And if he has no woman, he's not going to have any children. And so it's going to be hard. Oh man, somebody come over, I got a bachelor's degree. I got a bachelor's degree in bishop, or I got a bachelor's degree in seminary. And so they're going to go off his seminary degree, but this man has no woman. He has no children. Even if this man has women, he has no children. You need to be a man that at least have children to be in this office. Are you following me?
Yes, Elder. That's good.
So these are the things that you're looking for to see if this man, because if he's faithful, what do we always say on our show? Be faithful in little. If you're faithful in the few, you're going to be faithful in the plenty.
That's it.
So be faithful in the little. So The way you can determine if somebody's faithful is seeing what he does with his small little family, or maybe two. Maybe he has two women and a bunch of children, or three. But if he's doing a good job there, then guess what? He will probably do a good job in being to be able to rule over the house of Yah. How should he take care of the house of Yah? Right? Does that make sense?
Yes, Elder.
All right. So, and then go and just finish off. Not a novice. This is what you don't want. What?
Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil.
Being an elder, being an overseer over Yah's people is a serious business, and you can be condemned if you do it wrong. So you better make sure that the people that saw something in you and anointed you with oil, so that in that position that you do a good job. You don't want to just put anybody in there because they can be condemned. This is serious business, taking care of the people of Yah. This is no longer just your children. This is Yah's children. And so this is serious business. And so you want serious people in those positions, and not a novice, not a person who's only been with one woman, no children, or a man who has children, but his children is ruling and his wife is being arrogant and disrespectful to him. You can't be having that. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right. Let me calm down. keep my blood pressure down. You know what I'm saying? I have good blood pressure, by the way. But anyway.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So I hope I answered the question about this one wife, but let's listen to Got Questions.
Let's see.
Should not all Christians be above reproach, temperate, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not given to drunkenness, not violent, but gentle, not quarrelsome, not a lover of money? If we are called to be holy, and if these standards are holy for elders and deacons, then they are holy for all.
Stop. See, look where you put. See, it sounds good, right? It really sounds good. If this is about being holy, yeah, we all are called to be holy. This had nothing to be about being holy. It had to do, can this person rule? That's what it. I just go back to the word. It had nothing to do like, oh, you need to be okay. We all need to be holy, all of us. That's for everybody. But this has to do with, do you know how to rule your own house? Because if you can, then that means you have the ability to rule the house of Yah. All right, keep going.
Ephesians 5:22-33 speaks of the relationship between husbands and wives. When referring to a husband, singular, it always also refers to a wife, singular. For the husband is the head of the wife. He who loves his wife loves himself. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. Each of you must also love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband.
So right here, beautiful. I mean, I agree with everything he's saying here regarding Ephesians. This is good. A man must love his woman, right?
Yep.
As he love himself. That's the standard. The way you see, it's going back to you. So you go to your one woman. It starts with you. Hey, are you? For me as a husband, if I'm a father, want to give my daughter to a man, I'm going to see how is he taking care of himself. Is the man well dressed? Does he take care of himself? Is he fat, overweight? I'm looking at how this man take care of himself. And if he's taking good care of himself, then I know that he has the ability to take care of my daughter. So it's the same. So I'm looking for a man who will be a good person too. I may want to take my daughter and give her to a man who I'm looking at, man, this guy has two women. I'm looking at them, wow, look at the two women. They're living in harmony. They love each other. The children, man, I want my daughter in that environment. This man's going to take good care of. This man shows he has the ability to take care of two women. Shoot, can you take a third one? But if I'm going to give it to a rookie it's okay. I'm not saying there's no crime. Every man has to start somewhere. But I'm gonna see what type of home he came from. I'm gonna see how he take care of himself. Who is his father? Who is his what his pedigree is, and then I'm gonna give my daughter to him if it all works out. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So It's the same thing as fathers. That's what a father has to do. These are things that you practice, and you do the same thing when it comes to church. When you put somebody over the saints, you got to put a good overseer, somebody that is showing that he has the ability to rule.
That's it. Hallelujah.
Keep going.
While a somewhat parallel passage, Colossians 3:18 through 19, refers to husbands and wives in the plural, it is clear that Paul is addressing all the husbands and wives among the Colossian believers, not stating that a husband might have multiple wives. In contrast, Ephesians 5:22 through 33 is specifically describing the marital relationship. If polygamy were allowable, the entire illustrations of Christ's relationship to his body, the church, and the husband and wife relationship falls apart.
Stop. You see this?
Wow.
You see this? This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. Okay, if what he's saying, if polygamy were disallowed, was allowable, the entire illustration of Christ's relationship with his what? Body, the church, right? And the husband, wife relationship falls apart. Okay, I'm gonna prove this to be wrong. Go to 1 Corinthians 12. 1 Corinthians 12, verse 12. Let's see.
Corinthians.
Let's see how this thing works.
1 Corinthians 12, verse 12. Right? You said
Yep. Yeah, buddy.
all right. It says, for as the body is one.
Ooh, okay, we're about to talk about a body. He says it falls apart. Let's see. Let's take it back to the book. Read.
And hath many members.
Many members. Not one member.
Many members.
Many members. Okay, so we have a body, but the body, the one body has one flesh, has many members. Read.
And all the members of that one body, being many, are one body.
So being many is one body. Okay, well, this is, man, I see it. Do you see it, Deacon?
I see it.
See it. Can you see it? Christians, can you see it? They can't see it. They too deaf. They too blind. They can't see. They can't hear. They don't have eyes to see and ears to hear. But I'm seeing it. You see it, Deacon? I'm seeing it.
Hallelujah.
Read it. Read it.
So also is Christ. For by one Spirit,
One Spirit.
are we all baptized
Mm.
into one body, whether be Yahudim or Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, have been all made to drink into one Spirit.
Hey, bro, I'm telling you, if you guys are seeing this, hit 8 for great, man. Everybody hit 8 for great. We about to, I want to show you guys the hypocrisy of Christianity. See, they can't see it, but for those who have ears to hear, give me an 8. Give me an 8 if you guys have ears to hear. That's what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm saying. He used that the whole part of the whole illustration of the body was going to fall apart. Now keep reading. Ooh-wee.
For the body is not one member, but many.
Not one member, but many. I just got to listen. Many. This is Paul talking. Read.
If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body.
That's sound like some insecurity going on, right? Well, I'm not this and I'm not that. Bro, just do your part. You're the foot. Be the best foot you can be. Hey, you're the ear. You be the best ear. Hey, nose. We need you, nose. You be the best nose. We only have one head, but we got many body parts, okay? And we need everybody working together for the common good. So just do what the head says. Read.
Is it therefore not of the body? And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where were the smelling? But now hath Elohim set the members, every one of them, in the body.
So Yah has set every member, right? He has set the members, every one of them, in the body. Read. Whoo, man, I see this, man.
As it hath pleased him.
As it pleased him. Mm-hmm.
And if they were all one member, where were the body?
You see, if there's only one member, where's the body? So, guys, listen. Where's it? We'll keep reading one more. Read the last one. But
now are they many members, yet one body?
So, guys, listen up. I'm the head. I'm the head of the house of Kabir, Elder Kabir, right? I am the head, and I want to add. I have my woman Bree. I want to add more. I want to get more women to add because There's only so much that Bree can do. There's so much that I can do. There's so much that's in this head that I want to do for the kingdom of Yah. And if I'm just limited to one woman, I'm not able to do all that I'm capable of doing. See, one man can satisfy many women. One man can satisfy many women, but one woman cannot satisfy a man. Does that make sense? Let me say that again. One man can satisfy a woman, but one woman cannot satisfy a man. You want me to say that again? Do you hear that, Deacon?
Say it one more time for the people in the back.
Okay, let me say it one more time. One man can satisfy everything a woman needs. That's why he can have multiple. He can satisfy everything a woman needs. Food, shelter, conjugal rights. But one woman cannot satisfy one man. But she can do something in part. She can help me in this part. But then, okay, I got my woman who can help me to organize and help me with the hospitality. But now I want to do homeschooling. Well, I got this one doing this one. So now I need to get this woman to help me to do the education part, or do the garden, or do the sewing, and do this, and whatever I desire, I will set the many women. So guess what? I got all these many members of my house, many women in my house. I'm setting them according to what pleases me, to fulfill what I'm called to do, right? Boom, boom, boom. I'm putting them all in place. But it's one house, the house of Kabir, with many members. That's the assembly of Kabir.
Hallelujah.
The many women. And then you teach them, and then they teach your children. You see, you guys see what I'm saying? So don't be offended. So one woman said, well, I just need you to be the best Bree. You be the best that you can do. If I need somebody, I'm gonna get somebody else. Well, I can do that, but you're not doing it as efficiently. This person can do it better than you. And so that is, and if a man was allowed to really build his house the way he wants to, man, he can do powerful things. Can you imagine if a coach was only limited to one player? No. Hey, coach, hey, you're the coach of the Green Bay Packers. You only limit to one player, and we expect you to go win a Super Bowl. What position? Well, you pick what position, but whatever position you pick, that's the only position you can pick. But you can't have another position. So what do you want? You want a quarterback, an offensive lineman, a defensive end, a DB? What do you want? A quarterback? Okay, there you go. You got your quarterback. Go out there and go win the Super Bowl for us. Now he goes out there, green 23. He can't even hike the ball. He has to hike the ball to himself. No one blocking him. You know what I'm saying? But it'll be nice. It'll be nice to have some old linemen to block, so the quarterback can at least have a chance to figure out who he's going to throw the ball to. Then, oh, shoot, we don't even have receivers. Can I get a receiver? Nope. You can only get one player. Only one player. That's it. Nope. You can't have too many. Nope. That's not God's best. It's not God's. It's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal. But so that guy's not going to win a game. He's not. But the guy that has many coaches, many players, he's going to win because he can do so much more with many members of one team. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So, guys, polygyny is superior form of family. It's superior. There's nothing wrong with a monogamous. If a man wants to be in that, and that's what he can manage, praise Yah. But if a man has the ability and the resources and the whereabouts to manage more than one woman, praise Yah. That's only good for our women, because that means women will always have access to some of the best men in Israel. They'll have some of the best men. They're not limited to like, oh, I can't get him because he's taken. Or if you have a widow situation and she has children. Well, maybe when I'm coming into leaving my father and my mother, I don't want to be cleaved to a woman that's a widow or a divorcee or somebody that has children. I want to be cleaved to just one woman who don't have all that baggage, because I'm just trying to learn how to be a husband. I'm just a husband for the first time. And the last thing I want to do is add children and all the drama. I just want to learn how to have a wife. Can I first experience that first? But then you get a man who's been married like me for 16 years. And now I can take another one. And if I choose to take another one, I can take another one because I've done this. I got children. My oldest son is 20 years old. I know what it's like to have children. Oh, this woman. Oh, You need to be covered. I can see you could be a benefit to my house. You can help me to do this. Okay, I'll cover you. I'll cover you. I'll take your 2 children because, you know, they need a father. They need somebody to give them direction. I've done this before. I know more than you. How old are your children? 3, 4? Oh, my oldest is 20. I remember one time, Deacon. Remember Deacon? I remember when you first came into community and you were telling me, I didn't even know because, you know, my family left me at this time. I'm kind of like, Deacon helped me so much. I tell you, Deacon's a good brother, man. I really appreciate him. But Yah used him to encourage me. I remember one time I'm thinking like, man, this guy got it together. He's younger than me. He got a wife who obeys him. He got a daughter. Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, man, this the man that should be the head of community because this guy, he got it together. I couldn't do what he's doing. So then one day Deacon came to me because Deacon always looked like he got it all together because he got the nice beard and he just has that look, you know. So anyway, one time Deacon says, hey, what'd you ask? Tell them what you asked me.
Oh, well, I was just trying to learn about disciplining my children because I've never been a father. So it was my first time being a father. And I was like, hey, you're a father of many children. And you were like, oh, that's right. I am a father. You almost forgot you were a father.
I kind of forgot. I'm like, yeah, I was a damn good father. I was a good father. That's who I am. But I was a pretty.
That even was because you still. It's not was a father. You are a father.
I'm a good father. I was actually known for having well-disciplined children. And so I remember Deacon asked me, how do you do this? I said, oh yeah, you just do this, have her hold her hands, and you do this and that. And Deacon, I remember Deacon looked at me like this. You can't see him because he's behind the mic. Yeah. But Deacon was like this. He was like, how'd you do that? I'm like, oh yeah, just the old, you know, that's nothing, you know. I mean, but he was impressed with it. Yeah. But I've been doing it for over 16 years. So this was nothing for me. I know how to father because I've done it.
Like and I'm doing it now. It says if you find a wise man, wear out his doorsteps, and that's the principle that I had.
Yeah,
you have way more wisdom than I do. I'm like, hey, you teach me. I don't know how to do this.
I'm thinking like, you don't know this? Why are you asking me? I'm like, oh, I'm a father. I forgot. Okay,
yeah, I became a father.
I had to take my head out of my ass and say, okay, come here, you better get back in the game and stop. Hey, you can't worry about the wife of 16 years. She won't come and follow. You got to move forward, and that's what I did. I moved forward. And had found purpose in following Yeshua, being a community, being a brother, helping other people to have a successful marriage, be good when it comes to fathering or mothering and things of that nature. And I had that all in me. I had that in me because I did it, and I'm still doing it, And so, hallelujah. Anyway, I digress, but just want to show you guys here with the whole body. So when you go back to God questions, when they said that it falls apart. This is where you see the hypocrisy. So if that falls apart, then what about what Paul said here about one body, but many members? And the same analogy that Paul uses here is the same thing. You have one husband, many women. It's the same thing. You have one head, many members. And women all do different things. If you look at most polygyny homes, you will see that the women are only serving one head. They're not serving multiple heads. And so now the women can divvy out their job to be able to serve that one man. Many hands make the what? What's the saying?
Many hands make light work.
Make light work. And you don't have to outsource anything. When I was married to my one wife, I had to spend thousands of dollars to outsource everything that was done. Everything was done, but I had to pay my sweat equity to pay for somebody to come and do it. And it would have been way cost efficient if I would have just brought in women that I felt that can add to my home, and so that I can be able to maximize what I could do. I could have had way more money than I had. I spent thousands of dollars to keep my first wife lazy. Lazy. We had a housekeeper. Do you hear me? We paid for a housekeeper. I paid $12,000 for a housekeeper. A housekeeper is somebody that cleans your house. We paid her to come in every week to clean the house because my ex-wife at the time, my wife at the time just didn't. It was too much. It was too much. I vacuumed more than she did. But anyway, I'm just trying to tell you, you're gonna either pay for it one way or the other. I'd rather do it in a polygynous setting.
That's it.
All right.
Why did it change? It is not so much God's disallowing something he previously allowed as it is God's restoring marriage to his original plan. Even going back to Adam and Eve, Polygamy was not God's original intent. God seems to have allowed polygamy to solve a problem, but it is not the ideal. In most modern societies, there is absolutely no need for polygamy. In most cultures today, women are able to provide for and protect themselves, removing the only positive of polygamy. Further, most modern nations
Wow, I gotta stop. I gotta go back there.
Further,
All right, Pete.
What do you think about that?
So pretty much it's saying that modern is saying women are able to provide and protect themselves. Guys, this is a lie. The only reason why women feel like they can provide and protect themselves because you got something called the government. The government is now usurping the authority of the men and replacing men. But you still have a problem here. Where is the headship? Where is the person that's going to give direction to these women who are on their own, making their own money, making their own money, providing their own shelter, and doing this and their own protection? You got 911. 911 is their protection. The government, what they call it, welfare or EBTs or something. That's how they provide for themselves. So women still need men to do it, because without a man, these women are hellbound. What were we talking about the women needing a man? So you got these government coming in replacing these women, but now the women have no covering. It's a shame for a woman. Let me give you an example here. Let this play now. We'll go to Isaiah. I want to go to Isaiah chapter 4, but go here.
Most modern nations outlaw polygamy. According to Romans 13:1-7, we are to obey the laws the government establishes.
Okay, stop.
The only
That's a whole nother subject here.
Yeah.
But let's go to Isaiah. Can you go to Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1?
Isaiah.
So let's just say, okay, we live in a society, the modern society, now there's no need for polygamy because women can now provide for themselves, protect themselves. Let's go with that. So the women can protect themselves, they can provide for themselves. Great. You women are doing a great job in being able to provide for yourself. But there's one thing you lack. It is shameful for a woman to be uncovered. Shameful. It says there in 1 Corinthians 11 that matter of fact, go to 1 Corinthians 11, verse 9, I believe, or if it's not, what was it, 11, verse 5, and then we'll go to Isaiah.
Okay. 11.
Verse 6.
Start at verse 6.
Yep, just start at verse 6. We're just gonna make it short here. You guys can read the rest. But it's talking about that. Well, go to the in context. Just go to verse 3 first. But I'll have you know.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is Elohim.
So everybody has a covering. So Christ has a covering from God, according to this reading. The man has a covering from Christ, and the woman has a covering from the man. So everybody needs to have a cover. The only person that don't have a cover is the Most High, because he's the Alpha and the Omega. He doesn't need a covering. He is the covering.
Yep.
he's the thing. Okay, now go to 5.
Verse 5, start there.
Yep.
But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one as if she were shorn.
Verse 6.
For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered.
So if a woman is not covered, it's a shame. So not just only head covering, but if she does not have a male authority covering her, it's a shame. So just because a woman has protection, just because she has food protection, what they say here?
It was let me see.
Able to provide and able to protect themselves. So because they can do that, that's not enough. Go to Isaiah chapter 4. Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. And you're going to see that, and guys, this is what I'm saying. Just keep it simple. And in that day, day?
And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man.
See, 7 women will take a hold of one man. Now, why would 7 women in that day, meaning the last days. If you look in Isaiah chapter 3, you're going to see it's talking about the last days, will take a hold of one man. Is it because of protection? Or is it because of food? What is it? So let's see what they say here.
Saying, we will eat our own bread.
Oh, my goodness. So they're saying, hey, don't worry about the food. We can provide for ourselves. We got the government. We got the government cheese on this one. They'll take care of us on that one. Okay, go.
And wear our own apparel.
Dang, hey, don't worry about the clothes. We got our EBT card. Or is EBT just for food? My bad. Well, what they call these money? I don't know. They got something out there.
Welfare program.
Welfare program. Don't worry about that. We got goodwill, welfare. We're good. Don't worry about that. Okay, then what do you want? You don't want food. You don't want clothing. You don't want protection. What do you want? What do you want from this one man, you 7 women? What do you want? Tell us what you want. Read.
Only let us be called by thy name.
What?
To take away our reproach.
Called by my name?
Just
what?
To take away our reproach.
Huh?
To take away our reproach.
Whoa. So you want us to be called by that name? Why do you want my name? Why do you want to be called by my name? Why do you want to be able to say, that's my man? That's my man. I'm the woman of Kabir. Why do you want the name of Kabir? And what is it to do? To take away our reproach. See, that's what the government can't do for a woman. A government cannot take away a reproach from a woman. At the end of the day, a woman needs a cover. She needs a man. So yeah, just because the government gives you protection and through 911 and provide you through EBT or welfare, but at the end of the day, they're not giving you the cover you need. You still have a reproach over you. You still shameful. It's right there. And this is the last day. Now go verse 2. Read verse 2.
Verse 2. In that day shall the branch of the Most High be beautiful and glorious. Beautiful.
How is something that's so condemned, not explicitly condemned, but immoral? Most people say, so how something so definitely not ideal. How can something definitely not be ideal be something so beautiful, so glorious? Are you reading this? In that day.
It says it right there.
7 women to 1 man in that day shall the branch of Yah be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel.
Hallelujah.
Are you hearing this?
Hallelujah.
Why did not Yah in that day pick the most ideal family structure of 1 man and 1 woman? And why are these women going to 1 man? They're not going for food. They're not going for clothing. They just want the name so they can remove the reproach that's on them.
That's good, Elder. Elder, I want to let you know that I was able to find that quote from Martin Luther, by the way.
Okay. Let's play that. Okay, let's get through this stuff. We almost done, right?
Yeah.
The video.
Got about a minute. Yep. Okay. You want me to continue it?
Yeah. No, you're done with the reading. I just want to show that. So I hope you guys are, man, I tell you, man, we are living in the last days. Read. Let me play.
Further, most modern nations outlaw polygamy. According to Romans 13, 1-7, we are to obey the laws the government establishes. The only instance in which disobeying the law is permitted by Scripture is if the law contradicts God's commands. Since God only allows for polygamy and does not command it, a law prohibiting polygamy should be upheld.
Guys, I just want to make this clear, guys. And I've already done this, but I'm going to do it one more time, but just a small snippet, okay? You got the law of the land, and then you got the law of the sea. There's really a law of the sea, maritime law, where if you're on a ship, if you go onto a ship, if you go on a cruise, that captain is the law. He makes the law. Whatever he says, when you walk on that ship and you board that ship, you have consented to submit yourself to the rule of that captain or whoever is the superior of that captainship, the law of the sea. And he can do whatever he thinks is right at that time. He may say, everybody take off your clothes, and if you don't, you'll be thrown over the ship, you'll be shot and killed. He can do that because it's called maritime law, the law of the sea. So when you guys are thinking about what's lawful, it is not unlawful to have multiple women. It's not. We live in America. If you live in the United States of America, we have a constitution that promises us our unalienable rights, life, liberty. I'm at liberty to have as many women as I want, as many children as I want. I'm at liberty. Property or the pursuit of happiness. It makes me happy to be fruitful and multiply. It makes me happy to have 94 children. And to have 94 children, I'm going to say 94 sons. To have 94 sons is going to require me to have a bunch of women.
That's it.
And I'm at liberty, and I'm not breaking not one single law in the United States of America. If I am, I dare you to prove to me that I will be breaking the law by doing that. Show me the law. Show me the law that says that I can't have multiple women. I didn't say wife, women. And to be honest with you, if I wanted to be crazy, and I'm talking about, I don't know why I would do this. I would never do this, first of all, never, ever do this. But if I wanted to, guys, and I want to see if you guys can figure this thing out. If I wanted to, I could have 50 legal wives, 50 legal wives in the United States of America. Legal. And not one single court will have anything to say about that. Now, I wouldn't recommend it. It's suicidal to have 50 legal wives, but you can have 50 legal wives in America. Did you guys know that?
Yes.
Did you guys know that? Okay. I want you guys to, if you guys knew that, I want you to put up a 2. If you did not know that, put up a 0. If you didn't know that you can have 50 legal wives, put up 0. If you do know, put up 2. I just want to see. We got 64 people here. I want to see. Maybe people know this already. Shoot, maybe there's 64 women on here. I can't have more than 6. I can't have 64 women. Legal women. Okay.
More
so it looked like we got some people that knew that. Okay. See, some of the people that I know are cheating here, but okay.
They live in this.
Yeah, they live with me. That's cheating. Praise landers, it doesn't count. Okay, but you can put the thing on there for to help the algorithm. Okay, so we have a lot of zeros in there. All right. So guys, here is how you can have 50 legal wives in America and not be illegal. The key is you can only have one legal wife per state. What's illegal is you cannot have 2 legal wives in the same state. That is bigamy, right? Bigamy. That is illegal. You will go to jail for that. You can get in trouble for having 2 legal wives in the same state. So I can have a wife in Wisconsin, California, Tennessee. I can go through all the state, Hawaii. I'm good. No one will touch me. But once I start trying to have a legal wife in the same state, like in Utah, that is illegal. Under maritime law, under the law of the sea. Now, if I want to have 50 women in one state, don't go to the state. Keep it private. Doesn't mean don't say anything. No, private just means no federal, state, local government involvement. That's all private means. It means they are not involved. This is a contract between me and that woman, me and that woman, me and that woman, me and that woman, me and that woman. You can have as many contracts in America. You have a constitutional right. It's unalienable. You can have as many contracts with as many people as you want. It's unlimited. So if I want to have 700 women, I can. Covenant relation, I can. I won't, but I can. And it would not be against the law because I have been promised, according to the Constitution of the United States, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, or in the state of Wisconsin, the pursuit of happiness, property. So I hope you guys now can all turn your answers to a 2, because now you know how you can have 50 legal wives. But I highly recommend, I think it would be foolish, it would be crazy for you guys to even consider having a legal wife. I wouldn't even want to, I would never, ever have a legal wife. A legal wife can cause a lot of damage in just one state. Can you imagine what they can do in 50 states? So Men, be smart. Don't get a legal wife.
Yeah.
Legal wife is no. Now, if you have one and everything's good, great. But you don't want to have too many legal wives. There's no benefits to it. Not worth it. But anyway, all right. That was good. Did you?
That's
Was
good.
that good?
Should I keep playing? Should I finish this off here?
Yeah, finish it. Yep, finish it.
Are there some instances in which the allowance for polygamy would still apply today? Perhaps, but it is unfathomable that there would be no other possible solution. Due to the one flesh aspect of marriage, the need for oneness and harmony in marriage, and the lack of any real need for polygamy, it is our firm belief that polygamy does not honor God and is not his design for marriage.
Wow. You guys see this? This is their firm belief that polygyny does not honor Yah. You see that? See, guys, I want go to Malachi, not Malachi. Go to Isaiah chapter 4. Is it Isaiah? No, not Isaiah chapter 4. What was the one?
Malachi. It was Malachi.
Oh, no, not Malachi. Where was the one? Woe. Oh yeah, we already read that. Okay, go to Malachi. Yeah.
Malachi 3:6.
Yeah, read that. He said, "This is their firm belief. This is Christianity firm belief. It does not honor Yah. That is a lie. This is the people that they say seducing spirit, forbidden things that Yah called good." Go to Malachi 3:6 and read.
For I am the Most High, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
Do you guys hear this? Yah is not like us. He does not change. He is the same today. Go to Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8. Yah doesn't change with the time and the style. This is in, this is out. That's not how Yah works. He is the same today, tomorrow, and yesterday. And you're going to see it right here.
Yeshua HaMashiach, the same yesterday and today and forever.
And forever. Guys, he does not change so that we are not consumed. Can you imagine if Yah was like us? Can you imagine if Yah was like Christians? Oh my goodness. We would be consumed. Oh my God. 1 minute is this. Oh shoot. We'd be all over the place.
Modern society. Society. I said modern society.
Yeah, modern society. Oh, society's changed. So now you're saying that polygyny is not needed because in modern society, well, are you telling me every single country in the world, every people group in the world is modernized? And I don't even think that modernization helps family. It break up home. I live in the United States of America. I was married for 16 years. I was a great provider, not a good provider, a great provider, a great provider. If I could put more explicit in it, but I was a good provider, a great provider, a good husband, a good father. And in this so-called the land of the brave, the free, whatever they want to call this is the same country that literally ripped my sons and daughters out of my hand. Not because I committed any crime, I didn't do anything wrong, just because I wanted to keep the Shabbat. This country. So don't tell me that this government is good. The hell with modernization. I'd rather be in the country that stays out of the family business. The government has no business in the family. And the way you keep the government out of your family business, don't contract with them. Don't get the marriage license. Don't get the birth certificate. Don't get the Social Security. And then you can now enjoy the freedom that you can have in this country.
That's it.
And that's what I plan on doing.
Hallelujah.
See, I did it the American way. There is no American dream. The American dream is just a fucking nightmare. Excuse me. It is the nightmare. I'm just telling you, it is a nightmare.
The American nightmare.
Let me say that again so I can get a cleaner version. The American dream is not a dream. It's a nightmare. The American nightmare. That's what it really is. Cloaked in all this thing and make it seem like it's this and that. It's not. It's wicked. The government just comes in and usurps the authority of the man and now becomes a woman's covering. And now the woman feels like she has no need for the man. But in the last days, we know that women are going to realize, wait a minute. Hey, don't worry about our food. Don't worry about our clothes. We just need your name to remove this reproach. And women are now, you got all these women who fell for the trap, went to college, got their degree, started some type of career, and now they're old. And now they're looking for a man because they're ticking, because their biological clock is ticking. And they realize, I need a man.
It's too late.
What's my purpose? Well, you think your purpose is making money? We men make money. If it was just making money, I would never get married. It was just, it's all about making money. It's all about making the Benjamins. No, every man want to be able to leave a legacy. And legacy is not having more money. Legacy is having seed and pouring into that seed and seeing that seed carry out your vision to the next generation and to the next generation. That's what it's about. And so when all these women who gives up their best years of having children, having seeds, give up their best years to go for a career, they find out when they get to the end of the rainbow, it's a sham. It's a lie. It's like, what? And by the time you hit 30, you already lost 94% of your eggs. By the time you hit, that's 30. By the time you hit 40, you only have now only 5%, maybe less than 5% of your eggs.
Yep.
And now you're trying to hope that you get the seed.
That's it.
So polygyny is a very good thing. It's good for women. Women should be begging for polygyny.
That's more for women than for men.
It's more for men. It's just more responsibility for the man. A man has to be responsible. It's not about just sex. It's not even about that. It's about taking care of people, loving people.
That's it.
Anyway, I think I hit everything.
Hallelujah. You want me to read this this quote from Martin Luther?
Yeah, read Martin. This is Martin Luther. This is their own church father. What did he have to say?
So this is you guys can see down here. It comes from the DeWitt, Volume 2, page 459, and it reads: Luther, it seems, was confronted with the question of whether or not the Landgrave Philip of Hesse, an important official of his day, might enter into a bigamous marriage. When pressed to render a judgment in the matter, Luther, together with Philip Melanchthon, concluded that monogamy was no necessary part of the Christian revelation, and that polygamy was a legitimate practice for a Christian, in his words. Now, this is Martin Luther King talking. I confess that I cannot forbid a person to marry several wives.
Hey, that's a wise saying. See, he says, I cannot forbid. So that's good.
For it does not contradict the scripture. If a man wishes to marry more than one wife, he should be asked whether he is satisfied in his conscience that he may do so in accordance with the word of God. In such a case, the civil authority has nothing to do in such a matter.
So when you guys look at Pastor Dow, Elder Rufus, and people who are practicing the polygyny lifestyle, guess what? They're good in their conscience, because we know that we're not doing anything wrong if we choose to have many women, because the patriarchs did it. Men of Yah. Even Martin Luther is testifying in your own Christian, saying that, hey, if you feel good, I'm good. If I want to have a bunch of women, I won't feel one iota bad. I do not think it's immoral. I think it's good. I think it's pure. To be personally, if it's up to, it is up to me. But my goal is to get every brother on community to have at least a minimum of 2 women. I hope that they got to show they can do good, but at least a minimum of 2. I'll be encouraging that. Now, most men, but they're free to have their one woman, but I will be promoting men to at least have a minimum of 2. And I will encourage them on hump day to make sure you get your seed in there and pump out some babies so we can be fruitful and multiply. We are going to make them so like sick of us. How do we stop them? No, we are going to make sure we are going to populate America, and we're going to truly take over until the king comes over. Yeah. And we're not going to break any law. There's not going to be no law broken, because guess what? There is no law broken. There's no law against a man having multiple women. There's no law. I repeat, there is no law. Are there statutes? Yes, in the same state. If you want to make it legal and you want the power invested in me by the state of California or state of Wisconsin, yeah, you can only have one legal wife. That's why you don't hear me using the word wife. Now, I could say wife, but really, I don't have a wife. Yeah. I have women.
That's it.
That's it, or woman. And you can have as many women as you want.
Hallelujah.
Isn't it amazing that they have more issues with men having more women, but they don't have an issue with a man or a woman with a woman, or a man turning himself into a woman. Anyway, it's off the chain. All right.
All right, let's jump to reaction time here with the elder.
I think
I believe in polygamy.
I do, but it's not polygamy. It's called polygyny. The world does polygamy. A lot of people, the Bible doesn't speak about a man and a woman and a man, or man and man, or woman and woman. It does speak clearly that Abraham, the father of the faith, he had wives and concubines. Jacob had 4 wives, out of which come the 12.
Oh, what happened here?
what was that?
Moses, the custodian of the law, had 3 wives. David, the king of Israel, had 18 between wives and concubines. Of course, we all know about Solomon. But it actually has laws written in the Torah, written in the law of Yah, that actually regulates and sanctions a man having more than 1 wife if he chooses to.
Yeah. Do you know this guy? Do you know this man, elder?
What more can I say?
Yeah.
I think this is that young man that's from Tennessee. Does that look like Pastor Charles Dow Jr.?
Oh, yeah, hallelujah.
I don't know what I can add to that. That's my reaction. Look it. It's right there.
That's it.
What more can you say?
No more do you
I mean,
want?
that's biblical sound right there. I can't add to that. That's the shepherd right there. That's Pastor Dow. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. You were one more here.
Yeah.
Hear and argue the point that I truly believe that if a man has a woman he completely loves, and if he does do X, Y, Z, he still loves that woman, he wants to be with her forever, and he will die for her. I don't think that a man doing that is anywhere near the same as a woman doing that. But comparing men and women in that paradigm, I don't think it's a fair comparison. I think that since the dawn of human time, most masculine men, the kings, the knights, the leaders, they always had more than 1 woman. They had their wife and they had their concubines, etc. I think that's the way that humans have been evolved to be. I think that men have always been this way to a degree. I think that women even instinctively themselves know it, brother. This is the point. Women instinctively themselves know it.
Andrew Tate's on point. I really believe that at the end of the day, not everybody's going to end up practicing polygyny, because polygyny costs money. Okay, you got to have resources. You have to have the whereabouts to be able to deal with different personalities. You have to be able to learn how to manage people. If you don't know how to manage people, you're not good with money. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough resources. It's going to be tough. Even if you could get them, but you still got to provide for these women. You can't diminish from the first one to give to the newcomer one. And women being the hypergamy, guess what? Women are the one that's going to really determine this stuff too in many ways, because they're going to naturally want to be with the best man, right? They're going to want to be with the best man. Now that's when you're coming from American mindset, but fathers, I'm a father. I would rather give my daughter to somebody who's established, who has the resources, who is wise, who is righteous. You know what I'm saying? Like I will be more comfortable, to be honest, with giving my daughter to a polygynist than giving it to a guy for the first time. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm just saying that I'll be more apt to want to do that. Yeah. Because it's easy for me to see what this man is capable of doing. A new guy, you're just going off of, okay, maybe his pedigree, maybe the things he's saying, maybe how he carries himself with you in your interview. You know what I'm saying? But if you see a guy and you see his house, I see how he moves. I can see his wives. I see how they are. I see how the children are well behaved, the way they dress. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot more you can make a judgment on. So I really think that at the end of the day, men are going to want to pick the best men. And if it's up to women, I think women naturally are going to pick the best one. And so you're probably only going to have the top 5%, whatever, really practicing polygyny.
That's it.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
All right.
Reaction time with Elder Kabir.
Well,
Elder, we do have that one video that we didn't get to. Did you want to play
Oh yes,
and
yes.
comment on that a little bit?
Yeah, let me comment on that. And guys, I don't know if the like button is just saying one, but if you guys like this, I see 71 people.
No, that's from Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. Okay.
The other one is
Okay. Yes, please listen. So guys, so we're going to show this short video, and I want you guys to see this. This is, so when you always hear people say it's not God's best, okay, maybe I took that from Joel Osteen, but when you hear people saying that it's not God's original intent, it had nothing to do with God's original intent. This whole thing, it was a propaganda of what an ideal family. If you want to know why if you grew up in America, believe that one man, one woman is the ideal family, is because we were taught that through TV, through media. And so we're going to show you guys, this goes back all the way in the 1950s, I believe, but we're going to show a little clip here so you can see what was portrayed to us. And obviously me being born in 1970, this was instilled in us somehow through TV and TV shows.
and this is a polygynous family. Just so
This part is a polygynous family talking about,
you'll see.
I'm interested in the idea that this nuclear family really was an invention of the 20th century. They originate from a 1950s idea that there was such a thing as an ideal family. And they originate a lot from the idea of normality. And it began in mathematics. And in mathematics, it meant the thing that occurs most frequently.
Check, no mistake.
That idea of normality was very much celebrated. People wanted to fit in. They wanted to be the same. Eccentricity was devalued. Originality was devalued. And while the pressure on human beings was significant, it was nothing compared to the pressure that was placed on families.
Oh, here's Tommy's father, home from work. And here comes Mother to say hello. Every week, Father comes home with money for Tommy and for Mother.
Families had a way they were supposed to look, and there were roles. There was a breadwinner father, there was a caretaker mother, there were a couple of children, maybe 3, there was a dog, there was a cat. It was idealized in media representations, and the assumption was that in these households, free of disability, free of difference, free of so many of the things in which we have since come to find meaning, that it was in those households that people would have the best, the optimal, the most wonderful experience. So we came to a very sentimental and a very narrow notion of what it meant to be a family.
Marriage to 3 women isn't.
So you can see right here, guys, really.
Do you want me to keep playing it, or?
Huh?
Do you want me to keep playing this part, or is that good?
No, that's good. I just wanted to show this one part, but I wanted to show you that this is what was instilled in us, guys, through TV. I mean, I remember watching Different Strokes, Andy Griffin Show, Leave It to Beaver, The Munsters, even those shows, The Munsters, The Addams Family.
I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy.
Yep.
And these are stuff I grew up watching. And then when you come in, then you started seeing the family dynamic changing then and start showing women more married with children, the Cosby. I mean, Cosby was kind of a crossbreed between the ideal family for a black family, and then a little bit with the whole married with children, where the woman kind of was the really the figure there, but the man was there too. It was kind of equal. But this is where it really comes from. It doesn't come from his original intent. It came from the 1950s, because you didn't hear Martin Luther talking like this. Martin Luther clearly says, if a man wants to have it, I can't forbid it. So in the 1950s, they started saying, okay, let's do a propaganda and let's try to show people what an ideal family should look like, the kind of car they should drive, the way it should look like when he comes home. The father should sit down and take time to read with the children and things that in the polygynous family. It may be hard for a father to be able to spend a lot of time with his wives or his children, because it's only one of him and many of them.
Yeah.
But then people start looking like, well, my daddy don't spend enough time with me, and I'm number 32.
Yeah.
And so now it looks bad. They're like, wait a minute. Well, my heavenly Father, I barely see him, but I love him, and I know he loves me, and everything that I have comes from him. So that's why the women needs to teach the children that, hey, all that you have comes from your father. So when your dad comes around, you savor those moments. But just understand, if your father is not here, it's because he's out there providing for us and making sure we have a roof over our head, clothes on our back, shoes on our feet, and we're being provided for. So the women have to play a huge role in being the frontline teachers to the children. And
now that reminds me of something I think Brother Jordan told me once. But so when you think about it, who were the people in the 1950s at home watching TV? As it wasn't the men. The men were out working.
Yeah. So women are
all
looking
that stuff
at
was
this,
being propaganda to the women.
And that's it. And TV, all the TV shows. Who are the TV shows today? Yeah. The View, the Talk is all pandering to women.
That shopping, the shopping channel,
network. All this stuff is the women, and because all the men are out there working, so is the women are sitting here being fed. That's where it talked about in the Bible that in the latter days, they creep into homes, right?
Silly women laden with sin.
It's laden with sin, and they creep into homes, right? Let me just read this one thing, and if I can, do you know where that is?
I can look it up. Let's see.
Creeping, laden with sin. They creep into homes, and if you can find that, and that's what's happening right now, guys. All this stuff was prophesied long ago, thousands of years ago. The things that we're experiencing. So that's why we got to watch out for what we put on TV or these phones. I mean, all of this stuff. We got to be very mindful. And men, you need to take control what your women, what your children are watching on TV or watching on their phones, and be very protective, because Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Do you have that?
Yep. 2 Timothy 3. Oh, it's not showing here. Sorry about that. Let me put it up.
Read
Timothy 3, verse 6. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sin, led away with diverse lusts.
Ever learning and never able to
the knowledge of the truth.
Yeah. So you guys got to be careful. This is what's happening. That's what's happened in the 1950s. They realized, hey, men are not there to watch what's on TV. Let's get in. This thing was playing during daytime when the men were at work. This was not playing at nighttime. These was playing during the daytime TV. Commercials played a part in that. That's how they bought a lot of stuff. Oh, we need a vacuum cleaner. We need this. We need that. Oh, we need this. That's how it was all about money. The whole thing is the industrialized was all about the money. Getting your children registered with birth certificate was all about money. Everything is motivated by money. The government coming in, stepping in and being there. It's all about money. It has nothing to do with the children. The reason why they collect child support has nothing to do with you. We have a brother who's literally paying child support, and the wife is on drugs. She's not even, they had to give the child that he's paying child support for. He's literally now has custody over this daughter of his, and he has custody over her because the woman is not coherent. She went AWOL, and the government is trying to say, wake up, woman. They're trying to get her back in the game because they need her. They need her so they can make that man a slave. And so now, because she's not getting her act together, now they got to cut off that money source and stop the child support and say, hey, you no longer have to pay child support, because they were making money off of that. For every dollar he gives to that woman that they collect for that woman, the federal government gives each state a matching fund. It could be 50 cents on the dollar.
Yep.
And so that's why they're motivated to see these women. That's why you can see a drug. You can have a woman has to really, 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 really mess up, not get child support. But if a woman is strung out on drugs and everything, they will work with that woman because they need that woman so they can make money for the state. Most states are funded through child support.
Title 4D?
Child support, straight up. Look up Title 4D.
Yeah, we have a show on that.
I can go on forever. I'm done. I hope this was thought provoking. I hope you guys reconsider. I put this out there because we need to start talking about this more and let people start dealing with this topic, polygyny. Hallelujah. You got the gays going out talking about their stuff. I don't want this to be legalized. I just want people to know, hey, if you're going to call this wrong, show us in the book how this is wrong. But polygyny is monogamy only is a construct of a Western mindset, a Western culture, Roman, Greco, or whatever, but it's not biblical. Polygyny is a biblical form of marriage and is probably one of the most superior form of marriage to monogamy.
Yep.
Is the most ideal. I say is most definitely the most ideal family is to have more than one woman.
Hallelujah. Touch and agree.
All right.
Elder, we got a few comments on here that we'll
Okay.
address. We got some Sean Stigger. He just said the Bible never explicitly condemns it. Enough said. We can all go home now. Yeah, he destroyed his own thing in the beginning.
Right there.
From the first sentence.
That's what Ron Young did with Pastor.
Exactly.
He destroyed his own argument right there.
We got defending biblical Hebraic roots of Israel. It says, I agree. I agree. It don't really explicitly condemns it. Not at all. Yep. I touch and agree. Brother Cornelius, even the Most High Yah had 2 wives. Yep. That's right. We got this Brother Sean here again. It's right there in the biology. Had it not been Yah's will, man would only be able to impregnate one woman at a time. Yeah,
That's
but you can
true.
do it all at once.
And men can continue doing it to the day they die. When women actually expires after a certain years.
Exactly. We got our brother TJ here. He's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. I think Yah feels the same. Exactly.
He hasn't changed.
That's what we said.
Yeah.
Well, how does he feel about it? He doesn't change. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Nomad, what about dating single mothers? Is dating single mothers lawful? I've always struggled with that here in Babylon.
Dating. We don't believe in what's dating. There's no dating. It's either you're my woman or you're not.
Yeah. Let's
I don't know.
Next one here. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, we don't do dating. So that's
that's not our culture.
Yeah, that's not our culture. We got Pete Rambo. So above reproach, polygyny takes away reproach.
And we talked about that.
Yeah.
We talked about
a bishop should be above reproach. Well, then I guess he's got to have more than one wife then.
Yeah.
To take away reproach.
And you got that in Isaiah 4.
Yeah. Exactly.
That takes away the reproach.
Takes away the reproach. That's why they were holding on to one man.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it, Elder. Looks like.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for being so faithful. Thanks so much for being with us. And I'll let Deacon close and I'll have my final saying here.
Sounds good, Elder. Oh, there we go. Well, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Remember to visit straightway.com for any newsletters, for any sources. If you're interested in fellowship with Straightway, you can call the dining hall and ask for Elder Becker. The number is 615-688-3025. Again, if you'd like to get in contact with a nearby assembly with Straightway, you can call the dining hall, ask for Elder Becker, and the number to call is 615-688-3025. You can also visit straightway.com for more contact information. Elder Kabir, give us your last closing words.
Well, guys, hey, all I got to say is that this whole thing is just to continue to just get you guys really thinking with a biblical perspective and not a Christian mindset, not a European perspective, but a biblical perspective by sticking to the book. Did God allow polygamy or polygyny? He not only allowed it, he endorsed it. He himself is a polygynist, described himself as a polygynist. Mm-hmm. And so this is not if Yah allowed it for a time. No, polygyny was his original design. A man had one rib. He took one woman. I mean, it has 24 ribs, but he took one of the ribs and created one woman. And didn't mean that he couldn't have any more after that. It's just that's how he started off. So anyway, I hope this thing stimulates thought. Share, like. We're going to be putting out some videos throughout this week. So please look at. There's going to be some short videos and maybe someday there's be a little bit palatable to share. But guys, remember to always be faithful in the little things and look forward to seeing you next week. Shalom, shalom.